March 8, 2022, a date that shook the Seattle Seahawks and their fans to the core. The day the franchise made one of the most shocking and impactful trades in recent NFL history, sending superstar quarterback Russell Wilson to the Denver Broncos. Even now, more than 3 years later, the ripple effects of that bold move continue to shape the Seahawks' future. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today, we're diving deep into how the Seahawks are still reaping the benefits of trading Russell Wilson. From draft picks to key roster pieces, this trade has changed the trajectory of the franchise, and that story is still unfolding. Before we jump in, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a comment down below with your thoughts on the Wilson trade. Did the Seahawks win it? Let's get into it. To understand the full impact of this trade, you have to appreciate just how monumental it was at the time. Russell Wilson wasn't just any player. He was the face of the Seahawks for over a decade, a franchise icon. Wilson led Seattle to 2 Super Bowl appearances, won one, and was undeniably one of the best quarterbacks in the league during his prime. The trade rumors had been swirling for more than a year, but when the Seahawks finally pulled the trigger, the shockwaves were real, comparable to the Mariners trading Ken Griffey Jr. back in '99. A moment none of us thought would come so soon. But as it turned out, the move wasn't just bold, it was brilliant. Wilson's time in Denver didn't pan out as hoped. After signing a lucrative contract extension with the Broncos, Wilson struggled to replicate his Seattle success. Over 30 starts, his record was 11 wins and 19 losses. The Broncos eventually moved on from him, and Wilson spent the 2024 season with the Pittsburgh Steelers, briefly flashing glimpses of his old self by leading them to the playoffs. But a harsh wild-card loss and his 36-year-old age hinted that the best days were behind him. Now in 2025, Wilson is with the New York Giants, signed to a 1-year, $10.5 million deal, already named their starting quarterback. But with the Giants struggling and coach Brian Daboll on thin ice, Wilson's future as a starter is far from guaranteed. At 37, this might well be his last shot to prove he can still lead an NFL team. Meanwhile, back in Seattle, the Seahawks are thriving, and they owe much of that to the haul they got in return for Wilson. Let's break down exactly what Seattle got in the trade, and how those pieces have impacted the team. First, the veteran players. Defensive lineman Shelby Harris was part of the package. He started 15 games for Seattle in 2022, but was released the following spring in a salary cap move. Harris quickly found a new home with the Cleveland Browns, where he's been a solid starter the last 2 seasons. Quarterback Drew Lock came over too, backing up Geno Smith for 2 years before briefly signing with the Giants last season. Just recently, Lock returned to Seattle, set to back up Sam Darnold in 2025. While not a star, he's a reliable veteran presence in the QB room. Tight end Noah Fant served as the Seahawks' primary tight end for 3 seasons before being released before training camp this year to save around $8.5 million in salary. Fant has since signed a 1-year deal with the Cincinnati Bengals, but the real gems Seattle acquired came in the form of draft picks, and those picks have turned into core building blocks. The Seahawks used 2 first-round picks acquired from Denver to select left tackle Charles Cross, taken 9th overall in 2022. Only 24 years old, Cross has been a rock on the offensive line, starting nearly every game in the last 3 seasons. Seattle sees him as a cornerstone for years to come. recently picking up his $17.56 million contract option for 2026. Cornerback Devon Witherspoon, taken 5th overall in 2023. From day one, Witherspoon has been a starter and a defensive force. This year, Seattle named him one of the top 50 players in franchise history, a huge honor for a player so early in his career. In addition to those first-rounders, the Seahawks used 2 second-round picks from the trade to select rush end Boye Mafe, 40th overall in 2022. Mafe has racked up 18 sacks over 3 seasons and started 30 games. Entering the final year of his rookie deal, Mafe is a key part of Seattle's pass rush. Rush end Derick Hall, 37th overall in 2023. Hall broke out last season with 8 sacks and looks poised to keep terrorizing opposing quarterbacks alongside Mafe. Seattle also turned a 5th-round pick from the trade into linebacker Tyreke Smith. Though Smith has seen limited action, bouncing briefly between Arizona and Seattle, he remains on the roster and competes every training camp for a spot. So when you add it all up, the Seahawks currently have 7 players on their roster who came directly or indirectly from the Wilson trade. And the impact goes beyond just individual players. The trade gave Seattle draft capital to build around Geno Smith, who has surprised many with his performance, and create a young, promising core on both sides of the ball. John Schneider, who just signed an extension through 2031, can look back at the Wilson trade as a defining moment in his tenure. No matter how long he stays in Seattle, it's unlikely he'll top this blockbuster deal. Let's be clear, trading away a franchise quarterback is never easy. It takes guts, vision, and a little luck. But in this case, the Seahawks executed a masterstroke. While Wilson's star has dimmed, Seattle is developing a roster with longevity, youth, and talent. That's the kind of foundation every NFL team craves. As Wilson fights to prove he still belongs as a starter with the Giants, Seattle's roster continues to grow stronger, largely thanks to that fateful March day in 2022. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel for more NFL content, and share this video with your friends. What do you think? Did the Seahawks win the Wilson trade? Is Russell Wilson's legacy in Seattle secure? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.